Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a fellow turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You might succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late, when the night came down, how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem the worst that you must not quit.
I never can understand it, the way the system ran. There's no hope, no chance, no loophole, no escape for a suffering man. Cause every time I leave my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. Staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like harder. When every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make an overtime dollar. That just goes from hand to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've got to work it out. Lord, I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out, Lord. Got to fight. Got to fight. Though I never can understand it, the way the system goes. I don't know how they do it. It's only one way things flow. Cause every time I lift my head above water and try to save myself from drown, there's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. Got to work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Whoa, putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Putting up a resistance now. I'm gonna work it out. Wanna stay on tonight. Like to spend some time with my family. Staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like harder. When every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make an overnight dollar that goes from hand to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance now. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. Got to work it out. You know I'm putting up resistance. Putting up some fight. Got to fight. Putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out back now. Putting up some resistance now. Putting up resistance. Putting up a fight, 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 survival.
It's the 23rd day of the second month of 2021, a year that sees quite a few observances. 2021 is the international year, of peace and trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. February is African American History Month, also known as Black History Month. In the United States of America, the United Kingdom, Canada, the Netherlands, and elsewhere in the world, it's Independence. In fact, it's Army Day in Tajikistan, a National Day in Brunei Darussalam, Republic Day in Guyana, and Defender of the Fatherland Day in Russia. Hoy es martes, el 23 de febrero 2021, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes, desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est mardi le 23 février 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue! All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 23rd of February, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. We started out this afternoon with the anonymous piece, You Must Not Quit, combined with Beres Hammond's Putting Up Resistance. Good afternoon to all of us who have been putting up resistance, notwithstanding the peculiarities of the moment, the challenges of the moment, the problems of the moment, the issues of the moment. Let's keep up the fight in the name of ourselves, our families, our communities. Put up resistance to that which is wrong, bad, terrible, awful, unjust, and let us lift up and celebrate all that is good, all that is wonderful. In fact, my thoughts are taking me to a very familiar passage, Philippians 4, verse 8, from the King James Version. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Tune in to Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for Firsan in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport Firsan team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. Firsan in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport Firsan Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can send us not just your text messages, but also your voice messages, your WhatsApp messages, and you can call us on WhatsApp. Plus, you can call the WhatsApp line, which doubles as the text line, as a straight line. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Teachers in line for first jab. Jamaica Teachers Association President Jasford Gabriel has welcomed word from the government that teachers will now be among the priority groups to be inoculated when Jamaica receives batches of the COVID-19 vaccines. That development could rebuild confidence among parents and teachers in engaging face-to-face classes, the Gleaner tells us. Well, let's see how that goes. Amber Alert, Jam COVID under more scrutiny as second data breach cited. This situation, as we've long put on the table, is not being properly handled at all. From the outset, fundamentally flawed, and therefore whatever else happens after this will either tumble down or just fizzle, or people will just not pay it any mind. They would just move right along. Woman allegedly killed by Jamaican army husband in the U.S. Sad news. Infant killer loses appeal. No other parish was as prepared as St. James. No immaculate red flags at last inspection, says NEI. That's the National Education Inspectorate. Marine chief hits back at quasi-sovereign label. And an open letter to men about abortion. That's from Dr. Michael Abrams. Just doing a quick scan to give you an idea of some of the talking points. But let's go live and share with you some of the stories that are trending at the moment. And we look forward to your adding to our list of stories, issues, concerns. Judge says wife of drug kingpin El Chapo to stay in jail. Climate change, a grave threat to world peace. That's what Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister, told the United Nations. Man shoots at cops, escapes in St. Catherine. Robber drops gun, flees with money after being shot. Economy contracts 9.4% during October to December quarter, according to the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ. UN urges better protection for digital platform workers. Traffic mishap and a garage full of carbon monoxide is another story. Government urged to strengthen checks as second jam COVID security lapse reported. The local government minister says no double standard in approval of Sigma Run. Santa Cruz councillor worried about disregard for COVID protocols. Trelawney Field Hospital to be handed over this week. Just a quick roundup for you of some of the stories that are making the news or doing the rounds in our households, in our communities, in the taxis, on the buses, on the corners, in the marketplaces. Just so you don't miss anything, let's see what's trending globally. America is back, U.S. Secretary of State says, and these stories can change so quickly. Capitol rioters came prepared for war. It's another story there on BBC. Seem to be reporting more of what's happening in America than anywhere else right now, BBC. Let's see what CNN is running with at the moment. Same story. Former Capitol Police Chief says rioters came prepared for war. Capitol security officials point fingers over disastrous January 6 riot response. That's where it's at. Now you know. Let's hear from you. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line same as the WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346. Here's a call coming through on our WhatsApp line. 876-365-3346. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, Mr. Malcolm. I want to answer this question because I heard it yesterday, but I was trying to get in, but time was against me. What's the difference between a prominent high school and a high school?
It's just hype.
It's just hype.
Yes, hype. A high school is a high school. Yes, we're not drilling down to the specifics, but there's a tendency for those of us in the media, whether because of our own biases or not, or how these schools are perceived in the country, it's almost as if you see it and them going like say them at the top school. In other words, it's all, especially if something bad happens at the institution. So the story is they might withhold the name of the school for a while and then refer to it as a prominent high school. That's neither here nor there. Which school is it? What happened? Tell us the story.
Okay. This question already, the answer you get is the traditional high school, like one since the inception in Jamaica, they started as a high school like PSC, George, and other schools.
No. That's a misconception. Every school that was started in this country started like any other school, like all the other schools that have come behind them. From the standpoint of a new school, they all would have started as new institutions, and therefore it would take a while for people to gravitate towards them. In the early days, Kingston College became Kingston College by virtue of the performance of the students and the teachers of Kingston College and the entire team over a period of time. It's like building a brand. You don't build a brand overnight. You don't come on the scene today and all of a sudden people are flocking that particular institution. The schools like KC, Calabar, name them, anyone. They didn't start out as being so-called traditional high schools. What happened is that students started a tradition of excellence in different areas, a tradition of excellence in academics, a tradition of excellence in sports, a tradition of excellence in whatever extracurricular activities. And over time, they by virtue of how they perform, they actually market themselves and pull more people to them, and then they become known as a popular school or a so-called traditional school.
So they didn't get upgrade like all right, say Spanish Town High School and because Spanish Town High School used to be secondary. Whatever used to be secondary, and then they upgraded to high schools.
The governments over the years have played with those things. Name changes, just to show that, see, something different is happening. They're no longer to be called secondary schools. Effective so-and-so, they will be called high schools, and they would cheer, yay! And nothing has changed at the school. Same infrastructure, same deficiencies, and life goes on.
And then education part, like, step up the teaching thing.
Well, we want to do a couple of things. We want to shore up the socialization of our children from the home, and we want to enhance and strengthen and beef up the capacity of our educators in our teacher training institutions from those two fronts. If we're able to do that well enough, with the children in the middle, so the home on one side, the school on the other side, the children in the middle. That's the kind of support, and everybody else, every other institution of socialization, you can add those afterwards. But those two, the training and the preparation and the socialization of the educators and the depth of their knowledge and experience and expertise, with the quality of parenting from the respective families. If those are not strengthened, then the youngsters, yes, will do well. There are those who will continue to do well, notwithstanding the conditions. But for others, it will be quite a struggle.
All right, next point is you mentioned something about the upscale community. Oh, that's one work.
Yeah, that's another one. Again, if something bad happens in a so-called uptown area, which we refer to as upscale. So the story is, this is what happened in upscale Norbrook, or in the upscale community of Cherry Gardens, or in the upscale community. Again, it's sensationalism. That's what one of the things that media practitioners do. They need to get our attention, to whether to buy the newspapers or to listen to the radio or to watch the TV. So notice how they tease the stories coming up in news. In primetime news tonight, It's like, Lord God, what happened now? Geez, excitement. Yeah, sensationalism.
So no major changes here. It's like a hype thing there.
Yeah, too much of that. We need more substance. A lot of the people who are saying all kinds of things about the founding of a lot of these schools in Jamaica. The fact of the matter is, these schools, a lot of these schools, whether we're talking Mannings, Rossies, and a host of others, they were founded, whatever the story behind the founding of these institutions, whoever was responsible for seeding the funds to start these institutions recognized the value of education. And a lot of us who are engaging in revisionist history and seeking to take apart all of that, the time we take doing that would be socializing our children to create their own history, so that for generations to come from now, the narrative would have changed for the better. And the time some of us take doing that kind of work, we would be trying to help to expand our educational institutions in terms of infrastructure and the quality of the tutelage, etc. Those are some of the things we need to spend time on. But we have a tendency to major in the minor in this country.
All right. Before I go,
let's take the break first and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. How can you make your business thrive in the new normal? by using the most powerful IT solutions from Digicel Business Hub to optimize your business operations. High-speed Wi-Fi, mobile and office phones, IT security, Microsoft Office with Teams, and much more. Get Digicel Business Hub, world-class IT from just $399 USD a month for 5 users. Visit us today on www.digicelbusiness.com.
I save because one day my little business is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and I make sure to put away a little something for my son. Better safe than sorry.
And thanks to JDIC, deposit insurance protection on my savings gone up.
You've been upgraded. Deposits held in commercial banks, building societies, and merchant banks are covered under the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme up to $1.2 million per depositor per institution.
The JDIC is big protection for every little thing that matters to me.
No, that's name real upgrade.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
The RJR Gleaner Communications Group Special Women's Day book celebrating 60 distinguished Jamaican women. Available now. Purchase your copy today at the Gleaner Library, 7 North Street in Kingston, the Gleaner Western Bureau, 23 Orange Street, Montego Bay, and the RJR Gleaner Gift Shop at 32 Lyndhurst Road. And with every purchase of 3 or more copies at the Gleaner Library, you have a chance to win 6-month subscription to the Gleaner Premium. Jamaican women of distinction, holding up more than half the sky.
Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, here on Power 106 FM.
Resistance, I'm gonna work it out. Whoa, building up a resistance, I'm gonna work it out.
Thanks for staying with us here on both sides of the story. Power 106 FM. You had another point? Hello?
Scale community, I think left to be corrected if I'm wrong. The people who say they live in an upscale community, I think are the people who have more money and certain lifestyle they don't want to bring to their community. Like you see car on the roadside fixing, shopping here where people do their commercial thing.
No, it shouldn't have to be all of that. A residential community is supposed to be just that. A residential community, which means the part of the problem is that I keep saying it, the tail has been wagging the dog in this country. We don't develop, we have failed in so many ways to develop communities and to maintain a level of decorum and aesthetics. Once we get the house, whether an NHT house or otherwise, we want to convert the front to, we set up a shop. We convert and that's not part of the ordinance. We want to fix some cars in the parkway or the pathway or wherever and before you know it, the communities become run down, the property values fall close to zero, and they become crime infested, and all kinds of other infestations take root. We have generations passing on, because there are communities, when you go there, you can see that the generations before are no longer there, and the generations that are coming forth, sadly, seem to be doing the things that will make the community even more depraved and downgraded than those who originally lived in these communities. That's what has happened to a lot of areas in Jamaica. So
yeah, but I understand, but then again, sometimes it's not that they don't, it's not that they want to do it, but sometimes when you face some hardship, you have to try something to make a living. I bring in some extra cash, like sell.
Yeah, but again, you see, we keep excusing the wrong things in this country. If something is wrong, it is wrong. And surely, which is why, again, when you're developing, when you're creating a community, you're supposed to create areas for shopping. There's supposed to be at least, a couple of schools at 2 levels, maybe a primary school and a high school, a church or 2, and so on. Enterprises, operations, businesses, facilities that will provide opportunities for ownership and entrepreneurship in the case of the shops that would be provided in the shopping areas. The houses weren't designed to become shops.
No, I understand it there, but this is why them start. This is why they say the man from uptown. I think I buried someone in one song say the man from uptown never happy with the man from downtown. Certain style him don't want nothing here. You want to go in the city for that. You get me?
No, but people are free to choose where they want to live.
No, yeah, you live anywhere you want to live, but certain activity they don't want it because they will attract certain kind of people.
Yeah, well, you can't always choose your neighbors. If you're we live in a world where if your potential neighbors have money and have the means, whether legal or illegal, they're going to come and set up right beside you. And if they have no sense of community, then they are going to become a nightmare for you. If they have a sense of community, then you'll be doing your best to encourage them to stay beside you and don't move at all. Because who doesn't want neighbors who are community oriented and will play their part in keeping up the community, as opposed to the others who do otherwise?
I get your point, but the point is, sometimes a man from, say, the inner city, he make a money and he buy a house uptown. But as time go by, things are get tough with him. He might want to put a little shop or a little trade thing for you, bringing some cash. I think that sometimes the problem chips in.
Hello?
Hello?
What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm saying sometimes a man from the inner city will raise our money and buy a house uptown, what we call the upscale or the residential area. And as time go by, sometimes things get tough with him. He may put a shop and a house and try, and sometimes those people are uncomfortable with it.
The covenant would not allow that, depending on what the arrangement is. You can't just put up whatever you want wherever. This is part of the problem in Jamaica. People feel they can just do whatever they want to do, and they do it actually whenever they want to do it, however they want to do it. And that's not how it works. At least that's not how it's supposed to work. People are free to do whatever they want to do. People are free to be whatever they want to be, so long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom. As human beings, we have to learn to coexist peacefully or peaceably, however you look at it. We have to learn that this is my space, this is my place. That is your space, that is your place. And if you are going to be hosting an event at your home, for example, a little family get-together with a little music, whatever, of course, not in these COVID-19 times, but if you're going to do that, the neighborly thing to do is to advise your neighbor. Raskava, you're not going to get on the line now because the caller from Florida is on the line, so you're not going to get on right now. Sorry about that. Right. That's the buzzing sound you are hearing, listeners. Yeah, so...
yeah, but sorry, before you go further, when I hang up, I want to listen. I think you have some valuable point on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he just threw me off. I don't even remember where I was.
Right. Anyway, I'm gonna head out to Rascava can come in. But I just say you can't choose a neighbor. I remember I don't know if you hear this story one time with I think it was Junior Reed at water in grass and someone drive up and said they wanna talk to must say they wanna for the place something like that. And when him tell the person say in place, the man sucking teeth and driver. He like Billy say, the Rasta man would have won this place. But that's how you go. Anyhow, I'm going to go and get Rasta and hear what them have to say.
All right, thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112, 876 922 4113, 876 922 4114, and 876 922 4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
I know. Thanks for the reminder anyway. Greetings, sir.
Greetings.
Give thanks to our brethren from far in that make way for me to come in. But as you're talking about, you cannot choose your neighbor. Wherein as you may not be able to choose your neighbor, you can refuse your neighbor.
How do you do that?
For instance, your father have a piece of land up in a Jackson or wherever it's called, reserved for anybody who's anybody. And somebody choose to have up there, they want to go live, then go buy the adjacent or the adjoining lots surrounding yours or beside yours. And you piece of boy, say me tired to pay rent, me can't pay no rent, me have to build up a little 2-bedroom house for me land and my daddy give me. They who don't want that there because them claim it will devalue their houses, go to parish council and they refuse you access of building your little thing where you can afford and force you now to sell back the land or do nothing at all on the land. So they are refusing you from coming beside them.
By not selling the land?
By not allowing you to build what you can afford in the name of it gonna devalue theirs.
No, I'm sorry, I maybe was a little distracted while you were talking, but I'm not getting what you're saying.
So I'm saying that if you have a piece of land in Jacksonville or anyone and somebody who thinks that they want to go to Jacksonville and live, they don't want to live in the ghetto or nowhere else, and they go and buy the adjoining lots beside your piece of your daddy gear.
Yes.
And you now decide to buy, you can't bother with the rent house. You're going to put up a 2-bedroom on it. They refuse you from coming beside them, even though at them come they can see you. So the parish council will force you to build something equivalent to theirs or sell the land. They will not want you to put up that because they must say devalue your house. So they are refusing you as their neighbor.
Well, I don't know that the law provides for that, but if it does, then that's what it is. But I don't know about that.
Yeah, man, you can't go build up anything that a man claims to make his house property devalue. Mm-hmm. You cannot do that. They force you to sell it, or you go find
the municipal corporation.
No, the owner of the land will go to the municipalities, and they now will, along with the request of those neighbors, refuse you the permission to build there.
And then it ends up in court.
And the court is going to agree with the landowners who set out the value theirs.
Oh, well.
And then you have to sell it back to them or get the money, go build something equivalent to theirs.
One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
The next person in line, your friend at school or your coworker, may have COVID-19 and not know because they have no symptoms. You, on the other hand, could be hospitalized for 2 months or more if you become infected. Is it worth it? Stay socially connected, but keep the physical distance. Stay 6 feet away and avoid a hospital stay. COVID-19 is not over. Protect yourself while protecting others. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The February 5 off 50 sales event at Home and Things is here. Take $5 off every $50 you spend. Save big on the brands you know and trust. From beautiful Spanish and Brazilian tiles to exquisite bathroom fixtures from Sedosa, American Standard and Corona. Stylish Moen and American Standard faucets. Doors, windows, paints, and home decor treasures that inspires beauty and elegance. It's the February 5 off 50 sales event happening now at Home and Things, Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Catch it while it lasts.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm to join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Biomed Pharmacy, Margins Pharmacy, Cumberland Medical, and Lock Safe and Vault. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday right here on Power 106 FM.
Stand it the way the system goes. I don't know how they do it. It's only one way things flow. Cause every time I lift my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I've got to work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Yes, Rascava.
Yes, sir. That's how it is under the law. So I just put that little much in.
I hear you.
All right, sir. Bless up.
All right, take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Quincy Brown says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan Malcolm. I'm back home on Grand Cayman. So glad to be home. General elections 2021, April 14 in the Cayman Islands. Nomination day is March 1st. I'm busy with my freelance work. Busy is good, Quincy Brown. Thanks for the update from the Cayman Islands. Garnet W. Williams, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Angela in Toronto, Canada, hello. Gracie Shim, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. All the very best. Gracie Shim in cold New Jersey. Stay warm, Gracie Shim. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and viewers. Wishing for some of the sunlight Jamaica having, because every other day, nothing but snow. Man, I'm longing for my vacation, she says with an American accent. Inez Campbell Brown. Never mind. Keep warm. All the best. Carol Reed, Songbird par excellence. Good afternoon to you. Great to hear you and keep safe, she says. And you do the same, please, Carol Reed. And keep those messages coming in. Thank you very much. Here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Joan in Bermuda has taken a picture of her arm, the point at which she received her second dosage. So she tells us She'll be 95% protected in 14 days, and she's still observing the protocols. Well done, Joan Richardson in Bermuda. All the very best to you. And while territories like Bermuda in the region continue to roll out their vaccination program, we are still waiting. Like what's the title of that book? On attendant Godot, Waiting on Godot. Let's see. KSN says, good afternoon. Please give a shout out to Kyan, although his birthday gone from February, the 20th of February. Happy birthday, Kyan. All the best to you. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, on board as usual. Thank you. Cuban in Georgia, checking in. Good to have you online, Cuban in Georgia. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, hi, Dervan. Good afternoon again. I wish you and all your listeners well and keep staying safe. I heard you mentioning that Black History is celebrated in the UK. This is mostly celebrated in schools. However, for the past 5 years, Black History is no longer celebrated in schools across England, which is a shame. It is mentioned on TV, but not in schools anymore. I'm shocked to hear that, because when I was in, well, you said how long ago? For the past 5 years. Well, we're in 2021 now. I was in the UK. It could have been about 5 years ago, actually, and visited the Black Cultural Archives. We did a broadcast from the Black Cultural Archives, did some interviews there as well, which we patched through because of the time difference in the UK. And that the Black Cultural Archives was curated by a Jamaican, was being curated by a Jamaican who is now curating a different, well, let's just say an independent museum of sorts. But we had no idea, H. Morgan. We'll inquire into that further. Thank you for your message. This one says, Sir D, the Sagicor Sigma run is causing quite a stir, with people saying once more it goes to show there is two Jamaica, uptown and downtown, and how quick the police are, to swoop down on the regular man if they dare keep something, even if they follow COVID protocols. What is your take on such matter? As we understand it, there is a process. Those who are looking to stage sporting events or events of a sporting nature, like the Sigma Run, they make submissions to the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, more specifically the sporting arm of the ministry. And the ministry then consults the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport consults the Ministry of Health and Wellness. So they take a look at the proposed arrangements, and once they have made certain pronouncements or called for certain changes perhaps to the arrangements, either way, the document is then sent to the office of the Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. And that is where the ultimate decision is made. Now, obviously, living in a dichotomous society like Jamaica, one would expect that if on the face of it, as the lawyers say prima facie, on the face of it, the approval of events or the process by which events are approved and the considerations given or not taken, you're always going to have a situation where people will feel as if once again certain people are being treated in a special way than other people, etc., etc. So it really is up to the chief arbiter, the director general, and combined with everybody else. But since the final decision rests with the director general, to make decisions in a transparent manner. So to be able to just make the decision and we don't hear the reasons, the basis on which the decision was made, in this case, as opposed to the decision not being made for an organization being given the go-ahead for another reason. So we have to be upfront, we have to be transparent, we have to put the information out there. On what basis was this event approved? Make the information public so that other individuals, institutions, organizations who are so minded to stage an event, whether of a similar nature or otherwise, could be guided by the operational procedures of the event that has been given the go-ahead. Without that, people are going to say, well, it's just because there are those who argue, yes, we understand that this is the Sagicor Sigma, and there was Sigma before there was Sagicor, because we did the first one. We covered the first one in downtown Kingston, when that's where Sigma was, in downtown Kingston. But anyway, if you don't have that kind of openness and transparency as to the basis on which event A was approved and event B was not approved, if we don't have that level of transparency where the information is put out there, then people will always be suspicious of the motives of the decision makers and the entities impacted by the decisions. And as I was going on to say, there are people who say, yes, we know that they have raised, I think it's now, they raised over the years, about 23 years or so, they have raised about $500 million to go towards various charities. And this year, even in a pandemic, they have managed to raise $42 million, a portion of which goes to Port Antonio Hospital, some of it to Anota Bay Hospital, and the rest of it in providing learning tools, learning resources, laptops, tablet computers for our children who have been negatively impacted by COVID-19. So people say, yes, I understand all of that, but how come, to borrow the line from the JPS infomercials of yore, how come? So that's what it boils down to. The Director General, since the final decision, it's amazing though, because in the initial stages of this pandemic, nobody was hearing about ODPEM. ODPEM was not upfront. It was about the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Minister and the Prime Minister, etc. And so much so that it made the news. People were wondering, hey, this is an emergency. This is a significant of. This is up the street of ODPEM. But now ODPEM is being elevated at the back end to say, it's not we, it's ODPEM Director General. What a thing. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
Every time I leave my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all over, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've gotta work it out.
So to the Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. Who is that, by the way, these days? I don't even know. Let's see. Yeah, because we would not have heard from, have we? I don't think so. We would not have heard from the Director General of the ODPEM. Let's see. ODPEM Director General. Because it seems to us that we could learn. Let's see. Right, Mr. Leslie Harrow, Harrow. Well, that surname has another meaning as well, doesn't it? Yeah, that's just as I thought. You know, I love words, right? Harrow means distress, trouble, afflict, grieve, torment, torture, crucify, rack, sear, pain, wound, mortify. So for some people, it's been a rather harrowing experience to see how things have unfolded. But seriously though, the Director General, congratulations on your appointment, Mr. Harrow. But it seems to me that you have found a formula. You obviously have found a formula to the point where you would have approved the proposition put forward by Sagicor Sigma for the Sigma run. So now let that be the template now then. How about that? Sagicor Sigma, the template. So can you share that information with us now so that those of us who are looking to hold similar type events and related events will know exactly what the standard is so we can comply? So that if you must by now have a set of standards and protocols and procedures. So if you have that, then all you would be doing from now is just to scale it according to the nature and size of the event. Over to the Director General of the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, which falls under the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. All we're saying is that if we are learning some things and if we're learning to do things better, then let us share the knowledge, let us share the information so that those who want to follow suit can do so. Because you hear the sports people crying, the Premier League people, the track and field people. In fact, it doesn't even appear as if, well, we'll see. Champs looks like touch and go at this stage. This is February. Normally we would have had the Milo Western relays and other meets leading up to. But I think the last opportunity will come. What did they say? Is it end of April, early May? If it doesn't happen within that region, then the window would have closed on champs. But the point we're making, and is what we said at the very outset when this pandemic set in, that I hope that all the technocrats and the operational teams from the various entities, that we are keeping diaries, we're keeping journals, we're keeping track, we're documenting everything that's happening. We said that from the very outset, that we should be documenting everything that we've been doing, that we were doing up to the point of the pandemic, and how we've been doing things since the pandemic. If we haven't been doing that, then it means we will always be starting from scratch. And case in point, as we said, looks like Sagicor Sigma Run has found the formula. And if they have found the formula, then let us see the extent to which the formula can be applied to other areas. And no, we are by no means unaware of what's happening in terms of the numbers and all the other developments and the hospital beds being used up and so on, and the need for us to manage various arms of the state in effectively dealing with the pandemic at this stage and in the form in which it's manifesting itself now. We're quite aware of that. We have to learn how to manage in such a way where there is still some breathing room. Because it's just like the economy. We've been hearing for a long time that we cannot afford to have a total shutdown, and that is true. We can't afford it. So we have found ways to keep it open for as long as possible within the confines of curfews, etc. And then the following day we go again. So let us learn, but we have to be careful in how we make decisions and how these decisions are handed down, and the level of transparency and openness with which we present the information. Other than that, people are going to draw their own conclusions. Not that you can stop people from drawing their own conclusions, but at least put the evidence out there, the basis on which this decision was made in favor, as opposed to that decision that was made which was unfavorable. Over to the decision makers. The great Peter Drucker had a lot to say about decision makers, but we'll come back to that another time. Let's get back to more of your messages. 876-922-4112-5. You can call us. Whatever is on your mind, your perspective, your thoughts, your ideas, your views. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. How did we get there? That was triggered by a message from, not sure who this is. Yeah, just seeing a number. Just seeing a number. Thank you for your message. Here's another message. Mr. Malcolm, it seems like, left up to Rascava and the caller before him, aesthetics should play no part in the development of the country. Everywhere should be just chaka-chaka. This chaka-chaka and disorder are mainly the cause of so much crime in the society. They do as they please. The do as you please and eat a food mentality are killing Jamaica. Yeah, we've become immune, almost immune to lawlessness and depravity. And the Jamaican term that you use, chaka chaka, that it's a little difficult to take people away from that. Here's a call coming through on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Good afternoon. Would you like to be on the radio? One moment, please. And it seems somebody else is calling through, but this call came in before. And so we're going to go with this this caller first. Here we go. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man, Raskov, I think he's ill-informed, you know.
About the building.
About the building, because if a man has a piece of land and he wants to build a one-bedroom house on it, once it's up to the standard of the building code, he can build a one-bedroom house. He won't build a 10-bedroom house. It just depends on what he wants to build. There may be a few titles that limit the amount of stories you can build.
Yes.
But I've never seen one that limits the square footage of the house.
Yeah, I wonder about that because in so many communities across Jamaica, you see houses in certain areas of different shapes and sizes. And true.
And you know, on the other way around now.
Yes.
Is when you look and you see some of those low-income houses. I know that there was a low-income houses after past Duncan's on the left-hand side.
Yes.
As a boy, those houses were one bed, one room.
Yes.
And you should see them now.
I know. In fact, I've taken a couple of pictures over the years driving past that area.
Yeah,
because
there may be one or two that are still the original.
Yes.
But most of them, they are monsters.
They are mansions now. I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't think there's much validity in what he's saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. So the number is free once again, the 876-365-3346 number, especially for the person who was calling a short while ago while we were trying to take the call just now. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Right, I hear you talking about a little issue there where the people itch up some things here and there. But, you know, at the end of the day still, this whole government system, yeah. I mean, integrity is lost. Integrity lost and it comes from the top down. See, and the example we set for the people, I saw it go. And the people live off of nothing. So you have to leave a loophole for them live down.
Leave a loophole? Whoa.
Yeah, leave a loophole for the people them live because you're not provide nothing.
But what about focusing on trying to build an equitable society, a kinder, gentler society? Wouldn't that serve us better than building a society that is riddled with loopholes?
All right, hear this now. The reason why I say loophole because you have now taxation without representation. See, I can give you one good example of it. Just the other day, we realized a youth crash off our bike, see, and him lick up in our car. And I see a bicycle man ride 150 yards or about so to the police station, go make the police them know, say the youth crash and dip on the ground up there. And him, real bad accident, you know. And when they take a start now, people are just standing around taking pictures. And the police not move, you know. And when somebody finally pick up the youth off of the ground and gone, I drive past the police station at high speeds. I go to the hospital. The police still not escort them, you know. And if you do have a road license, you're in trouble. But at the end of the day, what you are paid for as the police and our money out of our pocket, I put fuel in a them vehicle. Then and fuel the whole system because taxation run this. Then and at the end of the day, there's no loophole.
So what is missing in that scenario would be an emergency health service or system that we have in other countries.
We just show you where the culture gone. See, and it come from the top. So what poor people are gonna do?
No, a lot of people use the term poor people as an excuse and give poor people bad name, you know. They give poor people bad name. One moment, please.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3:15.
Tune into Farm Talk 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Sand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Sand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Sand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions is brought to you by Newport First Sand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
No, I never can understand it. The way the system planned, there's no hope, no chance, no loophole, no escape for a suffering man. Cause every time I lift my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've gotta work it out. Window, no window. I wanna stay home tonight. I long to spend some time with the family, but staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like harder when every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make an overtime dollar. That just goes from man to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've got to work it out. Lord, I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out, Lord. Got to fight. Though I never can understand it, the way the system goes. I don't know how they do it. It's only one way things flow. Cause every time I lift my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. Got to work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Whoa, putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Putting up a resistance now. I'm gonna work it out. Oh, wanna stay home tonight. Like to spend some time with my family. Staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like harder. When every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make a no on that dollar that goes from hand to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program. Both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The last thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Sorry. I forgot you were holding. Sorry.
Right. The last thing you commented on was this poor people issue. Well, all right. I'll rephrase. The less fortunate. All right? All right. You're a mess now, Mr. Malcolm. This COVID thing here exposed a lot, you know. I mean, most of the people I'm looking on, seeing this COVID thing exposes that there was nothing being done. And COVID come like a integrity commission right now. You know?
Yeah, but be careful now. You know, I always take on the absolutes. When you take on absolutes, you undermine your argument because it's just not true to say nothing has been done or was being done.
All right. Well, I was listening to Ronnie Twitch earlier on today, you know, and a lady was on there. I am the layman, so I don't know the technical terms, but in so many words, she's saying there's supposed to be a commission from the government that examines what's taking place and how things can operate better, like in the economy and so forth and so on. And for 15 years, there have not been a report on that such thing, how the lives of Jamaican people can be better off, And both sides are guilty of it,
I heard her. You're referring to the interview that Jeanette Calder of JAMP, Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, did with
and
Mr.
that was
Thwaites. Yes.
surprising. That was appalling, and I'm not Paul. You understand? That was surprising. I said, for real. So how you run a country blind? I don't understand. But anyway, I never will play time, Mr. Malcolm. See? All we're saying is, the Minister of Finance, what's his name?
Dr. Nigel Clark.
Dr. Nigel Clark. Who's Figaro? Is who that?
He's an epidemiologist and a key man in terms of within the region when it comes on to the Pan American Health Organization and their work in the region.
Oh, so this COVID thing I'm deeply involved.
Yes.
Yeah, me don't like him figure it out. I'm named Figaro, I know. Yo, I hear what now, Mr. Green in charge of the agriculture, ain't it?
Yes, indeed. Name and nature.
Right. So we want him go out there, go give the farmer them a green thumb. Yes. See? So the whole of them have them metaphor. So, good evening here, Mr. Malcolm. God bless you. Yes, sir?
All the best. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Mr. Man, I want to talk to you about.
Hello? Oh, dear. So sorry we lost him. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened there. Thanks for the call anyway, or please feel free to call back. Hello to Orel Johnson. Blessed love, says Orel Johnson. Thanks for tuning in. Good afternoon to all Baptists in Jamaica. The Baptist Mission was founded on this day in 1814. Baptist Mission founded on this day in 1814. The Baptist Church was brought to Jamaica by Black American ex-slaves. The first and most illustrious was the Reverend George Lyle, who brought his family to Jamaica in 1783 and shortly after began his ministry. He built the first Baptist chapel in Jamaica. Moses Baker was another key Baptist. In fact, it was he who contacted the Baptist Missionary Society of Great Britain requesting help with his work. As a result of the first British Baptist, the first British Baptist missionary came from England on this day in 1814. Let's go to the phone lines once again. We see a call coming through from Cuban in Georgia, but whoever is on the phone line would have called in before. Cuban in Georgia. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
My issue is, why is it that we have a transport sector in the country, we have a police force in the country. However, I'm going to say this because I'm seeing it with my plain eyes. In Montego Bay, why do they have so many taxis that are not using the bus park? They have taxis that are contrary to their route. Not only that, but it's like drivers that are using the bus park paying $200 per day and paying park fees. They're not making it to pay bus or anything, and then at the end of the day, the bus need an amount of money. While you have taxis loading from Fairfield, loading from Bay West, loading from all over in Montego Bay, and the transport authorities, they sit there, they know, they do everything, they don't do nothing. The police, they sit there, they sit on their bikes and they park on their bikes and they sit at Bay West, and every activity is happening around them. and they're not doing anything in regards to querying the system in Montego Bay. This is too much.
What aspect of the system? I'm trying to understand. There is something to be said about the presence of the police. Their presence is supposed to make a difference just by their being in that space.
I'm not seeing that.
But what are you wanting them to tackle?
They need to be more out more, be on the road, paying keen attention in regards to the taxi operators using the bus park, because you have to remember and consider those who are using the bus park, they have a bus to pay just the same as those who are the road runners and the robots, because there are many robots.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And they are blocking up the roads and doing everything, and there are the police sitting right there with the roadblocks and everything, and they are not doing anything. Even driver who used to drive record services, they are running the road as well. They are doing the same thing, and he used to take away people's vehicles. So why are you on the road doing the same thing? So you ain't no difference right now. The system is just a fraud in regards to this. I'm seeing it.
I get the point you're making now. So you're saying it cannot be that there is a stipulation that the taxi operators must use the bus park or the taxi park.
They are supposed, the taxi operators should be using the bus park. That is one. That is one of my problems here. Two, the municipal, which is the
municipal
corporation.
Council.
Yes. I sell at the market with my sister on the weekend, and to be honest, you don't want to see their bags that are so packed going home, and you that are selling to try and make $1, they are trying to tear you down. That does not make sense. That area needs to fix. Transport Authority now, they are another one down here. They are not doing anything. They target the drivers, and when the drivers don't do as they say because they have a style to make phone card, they want lunch money, they want this money, they want that money. Where are the drivers supposed to get it from to give you? And at the end of the month, the government is paying you. You have a payday at each month. So what are you doing? Montego Bay.
No, but hold on now. Here's part of the problem, and we are happy to be able to provide a platform for you to share your grouse, whatever issues you have. But it would be more useful for those who believe that their rights are being breached, that they are being extorted by whomever, that they take a note of who these people are and report the matter.
I'm going to say another incident. I'm going to say something to you, Mr. Malcolm. This morning I was not able to attend work. So I was in the park. I was around a friend of mine. And one of them show up. He's like, he was like, when he leaves, the driver said to me, I thank God that you were here, because this man wants to tax me more than anything.
Well, he must report it to the police. That's extortion.
Report? To be honest, Mr. Malcolm, I don't know if they report it to the police, and I think when they do report it to the police, Mr. Malcolm, the police are not doing anything, Mr. Malcolm, because the police themselves are getting paid. Just as how I called in and I stated I'm making a report because time breach of the curfew timing, and when the call was done and it was transferred to where it was transferred, it's that the police, they get paid off for the party to be ended 5 minutes after 10, and the Prime Minister of the country said curfew time is 8 o'clock. I don't understand that either.
Yeah, well, somebody has to speak up and speak out, and it's not beyond just calling this program or telling your friend or whoever. It must get to a level where action is taken against those who are not fulfilling their or abusing their authority.
They are abusing Mr. Malcolm.
Unless, if you feel this strongly about it, I would humbly suggest that you get together with those who are affected and make and force some kind of change.
Mr. Malcolm, they are, to be honest, I think the Montego Bay, everything wants to rotate. The transport sector wants to rotate. They need to change them or put them in a different parish so they are too friendly. the police them the same thing.
I get the point you're making.
Yes.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yes.
We'd love to talk to you some more, but we have a feature coming up in just a moment. So perhaps after the feature in another 15 minutes.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:30.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Understand it, the way the system planned. There's no hope, no chance, no loophole, no escape for a suffering man. Cause every time I lift my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've gotta work it out. Window, no window. I wanna stay home tonight. I long to spend some time with the family, but staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like taller when every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make an overtime dollar. That just goes from hand to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've got to work it out. Lord, I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out, Lord. Got to I never can understand it, the way the system goes. I don't know how they do it. It's only one way things flow. Cause every time I lift my head above water, I try to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. It's a Tuesday afternoon, just after 3:30, and that means time for Kids Connect. Now, I feel a little odd referring to the cohort of youngsters we have waiting in the wings as kids. So I'm feeling like Raskava right now. He has a fundamental problem with the use of the word kids. We'll have to consider, as we said some time ago, maybe changing the name, maybe going back to Young Power, for example. Maybe, who knows? But for what it's worth, this is Kids Connect, brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, as well as Viomed Pharmacy, Marjan's Pharmacy, Cumberland Medical, Lock Safe and Vault, and Community Meds Pharmacy. And we are anxious to hear from some of the youngsters, and in particular the young men, among the most vulnerable in our society, with respect to how they've been coping as far as their schooling is concerned in this time of COVID-19. And so far, we have online Joel Taylor, who is head boy at my alma mater, Calabar High School. And we also have online Joel's deputy, who is Dariel Henry. So let's greet everybody. I think we're reconnecting with Joel at the moment. Right, while we're reconnecting with Joel, Let's say hello and good afternoon and welcome to Deputy Head Boy at Calabar High School, Dariel Henry. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I am well, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us here on Kids Connect on both sides of the story. Also, welcome to 3 prefects, also from Calabar. Anthony Parker, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Dante Whitley? Is
Whiteley.
it? Whiteley. Okay, and he's missing there. Sorry about that. Dante Whiteley. Welcome, Dante.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good
Thank
afternoon.
you for having me.
It's a pleasure. And Judane Grant, thank you for joining us as well.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me as well.
Great pleasure. Now I'm still seeing Joel's call on mute. Oh, here we go. He's off now. Joel, good afternoon. Oh, hold on. Let's make sure. Why are we not hearing you, Joel? One moment. Let's fix that. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Are you hearing me?
Yes, much better now. Thank you very much.
And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Well, let's start with you. You are the leader of the pack, in a manner of speaking. The head boy at Calabar High School. Online, your deputy and 3 of your prefects. What? Give us a sense of how close to normal you have been as a team of prefects and head students in carrying out your duties, or is it that you're on a long vacation?
Okay, so good afternoon, listeners. As it relates to, I should start with when we started at the beginning of the school year, and in October, we, as head students, firstly, we looked at the situation, and it seemed difficult because we were forced to fulfill our duties online because of the present situation. But we did take some steps, and we are still able to actually fulfill those duties, and we're still able to actually select those prefects, and we do have a prefect body at this time that is functional, or is functioning at the moment, and we're still able to engage the students in the rest of the school population. And so it has been difficult, but we are still making progress.
Well, tell us, please, Dariel Henry, the extent to which you have been able to manage your schoolwork while at the same time doing whatever head students' duties you have to do. Is it made any easier, the fact that most of the school would be operating from home?
All right, so good afternoon again. Good question. Thanks for that. The thing is, there are some pros and there are some cons to it. I believe that in everything, it might not be going your way, but you have to learn to adapt. And so, managing my duties as deputy head boy and also doing my schoolwork, one pro that I found is the time. Doing online schooling, you realize that you have more time because, of course, we use Google Meet. And so when school is over, you don't have to worry about going to the bus park, waiting on bus, waiting so long to get home. And so you have more time because as soon as school is over, you can go ahead and get whatever needs to be done. If you have assignment, to do your assignment. If there is something to sort out, responsibilities, then you can easily call via WhatsApp. Sometimes we go on our Zoom and we conduct our meetings and we plan and we do have a productive meeting.
What about some of the activities like clubs and societies and other aspects of school life? Is it a given? Let me ask Anthony Parker. Is it a given that all of that is at a standstill now, and you just pretty much just make the most of a very challenging situation? Has that been your experience, Anthony Parker?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for that question. So let me introduce myself formally. I'm Anthony Parker, prefect of the Calabar High School. So as it pertains to clubs and societies now, for most of the clubs at school, they're fully functioning at this time. I'm the secretary for Key Club. And we still have our meetings on Wednesdays, right after school about 4 o'clock. So we use the Zoom platform to carry out that meeting. And for most of the other clubs, I'm a part of the Young Innovators, and they still have their meetings on Thursdays. I know the Sixth Form Association, they still have their meetings. So we make the most of this time. We know we have to live with it, COVID time now. So we have to go on with the norm, move with the flow, what's happening now. So the clubs and society, they're still in effect right now.
Dante Whiteley, what about the other young men in your community? How are they doing? There are some worries across the land about students who perhaps for whatever reason are not being engaged, whether online or face-to-face, and therefore are falling prey to the vagaries of indiscipline and even gang activity, among others. What can you tell us in terms of your own experience and what you know about your fellow friends, your neighbors in your community, especially the boys, the young men like you?
Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for that question. Let me start off by saying that it is challenging. It is very, very challenging at this time. Yes, you do have students in my community who still participate in their classes as best as possible. This can be the result of the strong parenting, but you do have others who fall back and tend not to focus on their responsibilities. And this is where the problem stems. So what we as community members try to do is encourage them to attend their classes, try to provide them with any resources that they're lacking to attend these classes, as you know that we're trying to not leave anyone behind, right? Because as you know, COVID is not going away for any time soon, and we have to make the best of this situation that we're faced with.
Yes. Sounds like you have all the right approaches in terms of your outlook and dealing with the situation. Judane Grant, how has it been for you really in terms of the learning experience? You're in sixth form now. You would have experienced learning before sixth form and what that was usually like. Do you feel cheated? Do you feel any less of a learner operating in the environment with the confines of COVID-19 and all?
Good afternoon, and thank you for that question. I do not believe that there are really a problem with the online learning, but what it is that each person's situation is different. And even if I should say that my learning experience is good, I cannot vouch for someone else, as we know that people's situations vary based on the area that you live in and the income that your family currently earns. But on my experience, I would say that it has been good, and I must say that I am privileged to have teachers that really care, and even after school hours, they would communicate with me and ask me about the internal assessments that we currently do and how far am I in that process. So I would say that being a student at Calabar has helped me a lot with the process. Thank you.
Right, and Joel Taylor, let's come back to you in terms of the online learning and face to face. What has been your experience at Calabar? Is it only the upper school who is attending face to face classes, and if so, what are those numbers generally like? Is everybody turning out and not just turning out every other day, but consistently in their numbers?
Mr. Malcolm. as it relates to both modalities, we went back face to face in the first week of February. And let me just speak to before that. Before that, it was a learning experience for both the teachers and students, and gradually we did get better at it. And
sorry, one moment, we have to take a commercial break. Hold it there, please, listeners. We're speaking with the head boy and one of the deputy head boys at Calabar High School, plus a trio of prefects sharing their experiences as young men, their learning experience in a time of COVID-19 on this week's edition of Kids Connect. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Your taxes.
Experience the convenience of this tax season. File and pay your final income tax return for 2020 and estimated return for 2021 due on March 15 with tax support in so many ways. Using our web services, Customer Service Center 888 Tax Help, or Special Taxpayer Assistance Program. Tutorials available online at jamaicatax.gov.jm. All income tax returns, including individual, must be filed online with more options to pay. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Listen to the story of the Jamaican diaspora on Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with host Dervan Malcolm, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. That's Diaspora Check-In every Wednesday during both sides of the story, brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
Dear Pastor, with the Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas on Power 106 FM is now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. 1 hour of solid advice, great interaction, and a belly full of laughs. That's Dear Pastor, now 1 power-packed hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, here on Power 106 FM. The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
When every sign says no way out, breaking my back to make an overtime dollar. That just goes from man to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. It's a Tuesday afternoon, and we're going over our usual cutoff point for Kids Connect, just to allow our young men, students of Calabar High School, to share their experiences so far since the onset of this COVID-19 pandemic. And so we have the head boy, Joel Taylor, his deputy, one of his deputies, Dariel Henry, and three of their prefects, Anthony Parker, Dante Whiteley, and Jadane Grant. You're about to share with us, Joel Taylor, your experience with respect to the modalities of learning, whether face-to-face or online, and how you've found your experience in that regard.
Yes, sir. So personally, when we started in October, being introduced to the Google Suite and being involved in the classroom and the Google Meet, it was a learning experience for both teachers and students. But after a time, and as we progressed in the term, both teachers and students gain an better understanding of the platform. But the difficulties that still did exist were internet connectivity. Sometimes it would be a concern when students don't show up in the classroom, and so it there were still some concerns. When we did return to face the first week of February, it was refreshing. And when we did return, there were still some concerns because we just came back, and of course, Calabar High School had a bimodal approach in which not all students were able to go to school at the same time. So it was a bit of really for grades 11 to 13. And for example, if a classroom had 30 students, only 15 would be allowed to go to school and the other 15 online. And so teachers had to maneuver between those online and those who were at school. But it was an experience as regards to face-to-face. But there are still some concerns, and I hope that it will improve soon enough.
All right, I'm going to put out a couple of general questions. Thank you, Joel, to you young men, just to allow you to express yourselves. And you can, before answering, just say your first name before you respond to the question. I'm thinking now, are you scared? Are you afraid? You've heard of the numbers going up, for example, and there are some concerns with respect to the spike in COVID-19 cases, and there are some people who are suggesting that we should call off face-to-face classes, for example, for the rest of the time, or at least until the spike is reduced to more manageable levels. Don't know who would like to take that first on the part of how you're emotionally, how do you feel navigating a COVID-19 environment, whether having to go to face-to-face classes or having to do it online and remaining at home? Whoever wants to go first, please.
All right, Anthony here.
Go ahead, Anthony.
So for me, emotionally, first off, to kind of can put this out there, an underlying illness, I'm being treated for leukemia. So that's on a whole now, knowing that I can't really go to school. So even if school should open back when Calabar started face-to-face 2 weeks ago, I could not go because of that. So now with the recent spike and all of that, emotionally, I'm not really distressed. I'm kind of getting used to the flow of COVID being here for a long time. Last year, I know I had to prepare for CXC during this time also, and then all of that. So now I get used to it, so it don't really affect me emotionally. But I know you have other students out there who is affecting them mentally. And I'm really hoping that the government, the Ministry of Health, especially the population and all know, will just obey the guidelines, abide by the rules, wear a mask, follow the necessary protocol, so we can get this out of the way and we can go back to norm as quickly as possible. So emotionally for me, it's not that distressing. I'm kind of coping with the flow now.
Thank you, Anthony. You're a brave young man. Who else wants to chime in on this subject?
Okay. Dante Whiteley here.
Sure, Dante, please go ahead.
As it relates to the fear that we might have for COVID-19, I guess you could say it is not necessarily that I'm afraid of the virus itself. It's more that I'm worried for others around me, right? Because as you know, we're one family at Calabar, and we have others who suffer with severe illnesses, as Anthony just stated. And I'm afraid for what might happen to them, because as you know, the greatest result of COVID-19 is death. And to further chip in on what Anthony stated, I just want the public to please just follow the protocols. Please just wear your mask. Please, if you can just listen to the guidelines that are being pushed out by the ministry. We want to get this out of the way. You're not doing this for anyone, you're doing this for yourself. Yes. Are you really going to risk someone's health and someone possibly dying for, say, something that can be put off until a later date? Please just follow the guidelines so that we can get this out of the way and return to norm.
Words of wisdom there. And I'll keep the microphone open if there are any other responses along these lines. Otherwise, I'll just move on to the next question. Anybody
All
else?
right,
Sure.
I give a response. I'm Darren Henry. I'm the deputy head boy, one of the deputy head boys of Calabar High School.
Yes.
Speaking as a Calabar student, I personally am not scared. Why? Because Calabar High School, for one, it's a school that it believes in God and believes in the capabilities of God and does not limit God to certain stuff. Secondly, Calabar is a school that is very obedient to rules, right? And Calabar High School, I have experienced personally, of course, that they observe these protocols. We go the extra mile as a school. Calabar, if you enter Calabar's campus, you will see that there are sanitizing stations. The classes, they are not packed. They are limited amount of students. We instigate, we implement certain stuff such as not allowing the whole population of the school to come. So the classes are of reasonable sizes. We always sanitize at the gate before letting anyone in. There are just so many things to factor in. And Calabar, it makes you as a student feel comfortable enough to put on that uniform, step out of your house, and come to school to get an education. That is what Calabar High School does to ensure that students are not afraid or scared to come to school in the morning.
And thank you for that. Can I get in another question here on the subject of the journey from home to school? That's where people speculate that you're more likely to be exposed. You're likely to be more exposed during that journey. Does that apply to you, Judane Grant? How do you get to school? You get a lift, you take the taxi, you take a bus, you walk. What does any of that apply to you?
Well, yes, I do take bus to school and a taxi as well. But even so, we have a responsibility to follow the protocols that have been put in place for our protection. And if these protocols are being followed, you have at least a 90% chance of not contacting or even receiving such virus. And I believe that as people of our country, as students, we want to return to school, but we do not understand that it is more complicated than just returning to school. We have to do what is necessary. And it isn't really a problem, I would say, to take a taxi to school, as there's not really a chance of, I would say, where the virus is most likely being a problem is where we gather. And I heard that these areas are now not really available again. So taking taxis to school, I do not really have a problem with that myself. I'm not sure about anyone else, but I haven't really seen any possibility of contacting the virus in public transportation if you are following the protocols.
All right. Thank you very much. We're almost out of time. Any of you planning on taking on and tackling some of these issues professionally in terms of your career path, whether the sciences or related fields?
Well, Anthony Parker here. For me, I want to go into law and after that straight into the politics. So now, as you know, I would then have the medium now. That's probably a prime minister, probably a minister for health. So that I could know, even if COVID lasts for that long period, I'll now use my platform to kind of do the extra work that is not there now, to go make sure that persons wearing the mask, make sure that they are necessary and protocols and there are actions to be taken against those who probably disobey these protocols. So with that,
so you're coming in from the policy making position.
That's right.
Understood.
Yes, sir. So I'll make sure that different policies is there so people ensure that they follow the necessary protocols. So we can get this out of the way, back to the norm. You can go back to school, go to party. So that's it on my take into my career too, being in politics and making policies.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there for now. I'm sure the others of you have your own dreams and aspirations, and we with the kind of attitude that you have collectively, with your approach to life, from what we've heard in terms of how you have expressed yourselves, we're sure that you will do well. Well done to all of you. Thank you very much, Joel Taylor, head boy at Calabar High School. One of his deputies, Dariel Henry. Thank you to Anthony Parker, Dante Whiteley, and Judane Grant. All the very best to you. We wish you all the success that life has to offer. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. You have a good day.
You too. It's been a pleasure. Take care. Students of Calabar High School, young men sharing their experiences during this time of COVID-19 on this week's edition of Kids Connect, brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Viamed Pharmacy, Marjan's Pharmacy, Cumberland Medical, LockSafe and Vault, and Community Meds Pharmacy.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
1.5 minutes past 4 o'clock.
Bashko time. All the things that you need. Bashko. When prices so low, you will never need a loan at Bashko. Tell it. At Bashko. Where you shopping? Appliances, houseware, furniture, and rugs, gifts and linens and glass and bottles at Bashko. Where you shopping? At Bashko. Tell them. Whether they not also in the east and the west, everywhere. Them all over, they must be the best at Bashko. Where you shopping? At Bashko. Tell them again. At Bashko. At Bashko. At Bashko. The store that gives you more.
In the face of a new normal, social distancing, Zoom birthday parties, and unconventional anniversaries, we wanted to take the time to remind you that your business has always been and will always be our priority. Exim Bank cares. Exim cares about your business. Exim cares about you.
Come home to Ocean's Edge Country Club, your dream vacation home on Jamaica's north coast. Nestled in the charming town of Discovery Bay St. Anne, this luxurious development features 16 4-bedroom, 4.5-bathroom, 2-story townhouses with modern fixtures and finishes, 24-hour state-of-the-art security system, infinity pool overlooking the Caribbean Sea, and so much more. Visit oceansedgecountryclub.com to secure yours now. That's oceansedgecountryclub.com.
Both sides of the story.
Tune in this and every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm to join in a series of discussions on building a strong relationship with your child. We invite children to call in and voice their concerns. This broadcast is brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Every child deserves protection. Viamed Pharmacy, Marjan's Pharmacy, Cumberland Medical, and LockSafe and Vault. That's a live broadcast of Kids Connect during Both Sides of the Story with host Dervan Malcolm at 3:30 p.m. this and every Tuesday, right here on Power 106 FM.
Got to work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Whoa, putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. Putting up a resistance now. I'm gonna work it out. like to spend some time with my family. Staying home won't make it right. Sometimes the pressure make me feel like water. When every sign says no way out. Breaking my back to make a no on that dollar that goes from man to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. Got to work it out. You know I'm putting up resistance. Putting up some fight. Got to fight. Putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out right now. Putting up some resistance now. Putting up resistance. Putting up the fight.
¿Qué hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:06. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:06. Hiện tại, thời gian là 4:06. 6 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. The numbers to call 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat. Are people still on BBM? I think it's time I delete that app now. I don't know. Who's still on BBM? Anybody out there? Yeah. Well, let us know if we should keep the app. Speaking of apps, there's also the YouTube app. You can find us on YouTube, the Dervan Malcolm channel on YouTube. In fact, there are some messages that were popping up. Here we go. Wind Charmful, in reference to the caller on the subject of the taximen. The call, Wind Charmful, says the commuting public is just as guilty as the taximen. I guess she means just if there's no the whole idea of if there's no buyer, then there's no seller, or something to that effect. In other words, if people were disciplined enough to go to the bus park or the taxi stand to take the taxis, as opposed to just stopping wherever, going wherever they feel like going, and converting all kinds of places into taxi stations, taxi stands. Speaking of taxi stands, these days I'm quite delighted to drive past that service station in Halfway Tree. It just goes to show that it can be done. Discipline can be, the law can be enforced, and people can be forced to be disciplined. So since they cleared that service station, and I mean really cleared, we haven't seen any undue gatherings within that service station in Halfway Tree next to the transport center. It just goes to show it can be done. It can be done. And if we were to take whatever approach has been taken to manage that space, which was previously overrun by commuters, taxi operators, all and sundry, if they were able to bring it down to a manageable level, to where you don't have the kind of situations we had there before. So we're encouraged every time we pass that service station in Halfway Tree. It can be done. Our people, remember, we are the same people who go up, as we were saying the other day, who go to the embassy and you can hear a pin drop, not a sound. Everybody's as meek as a lamb. And I remember being there some time ago, as I said, and nobody, and anybody who is speaking, they would speak in a hushed tone, because this is the United States Embassy. And hey, people want to go to America. You understand? So people have to behave themselves to go to America. And in any case, once you enter that space in Ligoni, you are on American soil. So serious business. Well, it just shows, and we are the same people who migrate and are managing. We're living in China and managing. We're living in Singapore and we're managing. We're living in well, it goes without saying, America, UK, Canada, etc., etc. I'm just saying, it can be done. We know how to behave ourselves when we're ready. We know how to behave ourselves when we're ready. But some of us just lazy and can't be bothered. Right. Thank you. Oh, that was the message from Wincharmful. Rose in London. Good afternoon to you, Jamaica time. Good evening, UK time. What time is it in the UK now? 9:11. 11 minutes past 9 o'clock in the evening in the UK. Thank you very much, Rose McIntosh, for tuning in as usual. Oh, on the heels of Kids Connect just now, here is one for you. This is Filoni Studios inviting you to the next edition of Straight Talk with Carl Berry and Shamir Mackenzie. She's a consultant, activist, subject matter expert. The topic is human trafficking, and this is going to be on Zoom on Thursday, the 25th of February. This Thursday, 7 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. And the Zoom information is up. Not sure who sent this, but that's a worthwhile presentation forum on Thursday evening. Thank you very much for that. We've made a note of it. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. How's it going? Good to see you online. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine is tuned in as usual. Patriotic Jamaican in New York says, Mr. Malcolm, earlier today I heard on the news that a gunman caught with an illegal gun was given 1 month for the offense. I would like someone to explain how a so-called judge in a country grappling with such a huge murder by the gun problem could even contemplate sentencing a gunman to 1 month. I really can't understand why Jamaican judges are so sympathetic towards these destroyers of society. I truly think this phenomenon should be investigated. Remember that every case has to be treated on its own merit. We can't stay from wherever we are in the world or here in Jamaica without being in court to hear the extent of the case brought against this individual and whatever evidence was there, etc. So we have to be careful how we comment on these matters, not knowing the basis on which this decision was made and what are the factors that would have contributed to the making of this decision. And some more messages coming through. Who is this now? Good afternoon to all the Rotarians in Jamaica and indeed the world. On this day in 1905, the Rotary Club was founded in Chicago, Illinois, by attorney Paul Harris. So if someone is referred to as being a Paul Harris Fellow, it means you've reached, I think, the highest level, the pinnacle of Rotary or something to that effect. So the Rotary Club was founded on this day in Chicago, Illinois in 1905. A National Association of the very popular Civic Club was formed in 1910. National In 1922, the organization, which was for men only, adopted the name Rotary International. It continues with millions of members throughout the world, both men and women. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Don't take your security for granted. Protect your home or business with burglar, panic, and fire alarm safety systems from Technology Plus Company Limited. Having previous lasting problems? Get our electronic solution using long-range solar perimeter detection system. We offer 24-hour monitoring and armed response service in all major towns island-wide. Call Technology Plus 876-926-6997 or email techplus@cwjamaica.com for further details.
The RJR Gleaner Communications Group Special Women's Day book celebrating 60 distinguished Jamaican women. Available now. Purchase your copy today at the Gleaner Library, 7 North Street in Kingston, the Gleaner Western Bureau, 23 Orange Street, Montego Bay, and the RJR Gleaner Gift Shop at 32 Lyndhurst Road. And with every purchase of 3 or more copies at the Gleaner Library, you have a chance to win 6-month subscription to the Gleaner Premium. Jamaican women of distinction, holding up more than half the sky.
When every sign says no way out, breaking my back to make an overtime dollar. That just goes from man to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. No, I'm putting up a resistance. I've got to work it out. Lord, I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out. No, I'm putting up resistance. I'm gonna work it out.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. Tienza, TDN le, CDN, Shi Liao Fen. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Looks like Raskava is finished doing his homework, so he can afford to call us back, having done his homework. Yes, Raskava.
Who called in and was questioning the time that man got for the illegal possession of a firearm.
Yes.
That is actually the remainder of the sentencing that he would have been.
Oh, he was in custody before.
Right. So this is just the remainder of what he has spent way back into the.
I'm sorry, Raskava, I'm not sure which device you're using now, but the audio not so hot. The quality of the sound is not good. I don't know.
So that was just the additional time that he would have spent with the case inside from the moment he was locked up.
Understood.
So that would not be sending a message to gunmen or gun boy if that's what he just would have done. Even if my son, he couldn't do that.
Right.
There's always other things attached that some people choose not to bring out or choose not to find out.
Yes.
But the why I call this man now again is to look at the breach into Jamaica's people's information.
No, I'm so Raskava, we want to hear you, but the connection is bad. Something is off. Not as clear as it was earlier on when you called.
Same phone on the same line.
Yeah. But yeah, if you could just hang up and call back, please. Just hang up and call back. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's see if Raskava has a better connection now. Raskava?
Yeah, I'm hearing you even better too.
That's like as far as night is from day. Goodness.
So I was saying that the twice link of private information that we were told was in sync and secured, and it has reached the eyes, hands, and ears of the public. And don't you think that will cause even more skepticism on the needs that they promise us that our information will be safe and secure?
Yeah, well, that's one of the points we were making yesterday or the day before, whenever this story, today's what, Tuesday? Yeah, when the story broke, we were making the same point, that it doesn't inspire confidence when information is coming out in dribs and drabs, as opposed to once the state members of the state apparatus got wind of the fact that something had gone awry, they should have called. Well, I don't know if they did, but my understanding how you handle these things immediately, get the key actors in that whole experience together. What happened? When did it happen? Get the facts. And then once you've garnered enough information, you come to the public and you say, this is the situation. Yes, they would have sent out messages to those whose information was put in a vulnerable position at some point. They did send out those, but outside of that, someone must speak with a level of authority on this matter, as opposed to us just getting information in dribs and drabs, because it's not going to help to inspire confidence at all if we're not able to come forward and say definitively, this is what happened, we have taken steps to correct it, or we are, as a result, we have whatever it is. But the point is, the situation has not been handled properly at all, and it's going to make matters worse.
The point is, it's not even one of our cyber tech who have discovered it. The most current one is the United States informed us that is happening in the second one that break out again. So it's actually that we didn't even not knowing that it is happening then.
Yeah, well, this is what we're saying. We need a level of accountability. We need to know, for the key people involved, what did you know? When did you know it? And what did you do about it? Those are the key questions.
How did you know about it? Were you being informed, or you find it out for yourself?
Yes, key questions that must be asked, and the information brought to the public square to say, this is what happened essentially, and just trying to rebuild whatever confidence is left in the system.
Mr. Malcolm, we need to get the right person for the right job in the right position.
We agree wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. I'm seeing Samsung sending me email of these phones. And I'm thinking, I don't have a problem with you sending the picture of the phone, but can you also just package it and send the actual device? Because don't just send the picture and tell us available now. No, man. You've go a step further, Samsung. Package the device and send it. Yeah, you need to go a step further. You don't just send a picture in the mailbox. But anyway, yeah, that's quite an investment. That's as much as we'll say at this stage. Quite an investment. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I just got onto your program and I heard the last part of what you were talking to Raskar about. And
Yes.
unfortunately, I wasn't able to listen to the earlier part of your program, so I don't even know what people were talking about. But then I just want to share my like a bit.
Sure.
As you said, it is just unfortunate that the way the cyber thing has been handled.
Yeah.
But it puts me in the frame of mind of saying when we are at a stage in our country where I believe a lot more of us, and I would want to, although I've not done any scientific survey, to think that probably a good 60 or more percent of our people are more aware, are more educated as compared to 1972. We
Or any other time in
or any
history
other
for
time in
that
our
for
history.
that matter. You're right. There's a lot.
Thank you, Sir Malcolm. But yet, some of our leaders seem to cause us to believe that, Lord, let's not get DB country for it. So I don't know if we tell them this or tell them that. I don't know if they don't know, or I don't know if it is not said in a profound, in a timely way as how it is to be
No,
said.
anybody who
It
takes
is
that
just-
position,
it
they're
is-
setting up themselves for disaster.
But Sir Malcolm, some of the ways some of our officials, government and otherwise, do things to leave you no other reason but to think that way. It gives you another reason. In today, February 2021, believe it. And I still don't believe that, as you said, up till now, we have not heard anything definitive as to.
No, the
what
first
way
time
went
the
down.
question was asked of the
Come on,
health
man.
minister, Dr. Tufton, he deferred the question. He
Come
said
on,
that the
yes.
office of the prime minister
Prime
would be
Minister.
issuing a
Yes.
statement on the matter or would speak definitively on the matter, but we haven't heard anything yet.
So, earlier I was listening to, I think, Dr. Nigel Clark, the Minister of Finance, speaking to Ralston. Yeah, and he was on point with information and all that. You know, I had to say, well, sometimes you really wonder why some of us are like that and some of us are not like that. And yet it's the same country we all live in, and it's the same country all of us have to be a part of for all of us.
Well,
I want to say, all of us who are good-minded people want this country to be a good place. Because I still believe that it's probably one of the most blessed places on earth.
Yeah.
So all of us who are like-minded people want here to be nice.
Yeah.
But then when I see some comments that some people make about how people are dying, both criminally from COVID and otherwise, you really wonder, where are we? When is it going to end? Or are we going to call out and say, let us all come together to fix it? Right. Sir Malcolm.
Yeah, well, as we always like to say on this program, those of us, we shouldn't be daunted. Those of us who know better, let's just continue to do better. Those of us who have a voice, let's continue to speak. Those of us who are able to take action, whether legally or otherwise, in order to get certain things done. Because usually when you for some people, when you talk about action, they think about looting stores and
Right,
mashing up
right.
the place. As
Yes, and all that,
no,
yeah.
we would like
No,
to
we're
think no, we're more civilized than that.
I
no?
want to think so too. Except that sometimes you hear people speak to,
Because we are the
it's-
same ones. We are going to have to bear the cost to fix it back.
Exactly. but and we are saying so. But sometimes you hear some people says why is it look like it's only a revolution can fix this country? But some people have to die and face mash up and all
Well,
that.
Dennis
But
Brown
Jesus.
sings about
Oh,
the
we
right
never get to that.
revolution. There are revolutions and there are revolutions, and it's
I
knowing
agree with you.
what is the
Yes.
right revolution.
Mm-hmm. And I want to think the revolution that I want to see a revolution of the mind. Just
Yes.
not no physical, nothing but people are mash up.
You're perfectly correct.
You know, the other day I was doing JP work because I offer my services as JP some 31 years now, over 32. I have a office that I do work before I go to work in the morning for people. And every young girl came. She's going to university with her student loan thing. And you know what? She came with a form with that form that she used to sign and another one.
Hello? Lost you for a moment there. The
Sorry,
form
man.
that you said about form?
Yeah, that she has to sign, and the other one that her guarantor has to sign. I know what the young lady said to me. Her guarantor is in Kingston. We are from the same community, but her guarantor is in Kingston. And she asked me to sign it for him. I said, Miss, you know what you're telling me to do? Corruptly put my signature on a piece of paper to take to somebody in Kingston to sign on it. Now just think, and I said, just think like this. I don't know who your guarantor is. Just imagine that I put my signature as I just saw the piece on a piece of paper for you to take to Kingston for somebody to sign. I don't know if the person is a criminal, 1, 2, and I don't know who that person might be either. Just imagine that person says, really? A JP sign on a blank piece of paper that is coming to me who is another JP or somebody even above that? And you know what she said? She didn't know that would be a problem. She's a university student.
Yeah.
I just said to be a girl. I said, sweet girl, please. You're at a higher place than a lot of people in Jamaica.
Sorry, one moment, please. We ran past the break.
All right.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:31 on Power 106.
The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce presents MIIC Live on both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm every first and third Thursday at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Learn more about the manufacturing strategy, modernization in trading, foreign direct investments, and much more right here on Power 106 FM. This broadcast of MIIC Live is brought to you by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce.
Come home to Ocean's Edge Country Club, your dream vacation home on Jamaica's north coast. Nestled in the charming town of Discovery Bay St. Anne, this luxurious development features 16 4-bedroom, 4.5-bathroom, 2-story townhouses with modern fixtures and finishes, 24-hour state-of-the-art security system, infinity pool overlooking the Caribbean Sea, and so much more. Visit oceansedgecountryclub.com to secure yours now. That's oceansedgecountryclub.com.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Floyd Green. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play in its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:27. Quel arrêt-il en français? Les 5h-27. 现在几点了？5点加27分. 27 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Are you still there?
I'm still there.
Right, you were talking about the young lady.
Yeah, so I took her to school and I said to her, young miss, do you ever read about the corruption that took place where a lot of ministers of government and other people were involved? He said yes. And I said to her, you know what? You know that probably a lot of those officers and whomever else were involved with it might have signed some documents, not knowing even what was going to be put on those documents. And then they went on the figures afterwards and so forth. And she said, you know, I didn't even think about that. I said, yes, we must think about these things. We can't just be blindly going into things like those. But then I also said to her, no wonder why when the survey was done, 78% of the people said, oh, not that. Mm-hmm. She felt bad when she was leaving, but then I'm happy that she probably would have learned that, hey, this is not the way things go. In the quest to get whatever.
Yeah, it's again, those of us who know better, let's do better, and each one teach one. We as we move up the ladder of thinking, let's take other people with us, at least one.
Yeah.
And hopefully, at the end of the day, the 1-1 Coco.
We'll pull the basket.
There you go.
Sir Malcolm, continue to be your best.
Thank you.
What you're doing. Of course, I love what you're doing. As I tell people, the show is really an education program.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the call. All the best. Thank you. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Let's see some more messages coming through. Let's go back down the page here. Keith, because I'm not. Oh, that's Keith who had a problem with getting through to the NWC. So did you, in fact, get through, Keith? You could send us the follow-up. No problem. Thank you very much. All right, just before, let's go to this. Oh, we have some messages here to clear. One moment, please. Let's go to these messages right now. Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Let's get a quick update on developments in the world of news. Here, Jamaican swimmer Antoinette Pop shows good form at Western Athletic Conference Women's Swimming in St. George, Utah, with a near personal best 56.40 seconds in the 100-yard backstroke. I believe swimming and athletics are the two sports, we're told, sporting disciplines that could function as close to normal as possible in this time of COVID-19. Maintaining, I think we've heard that much relatively recently. So let's see if the track and field fraternity and those in the sporting arena will in fact be able to benefit from some action. One can just imagine how they feel. We're being told that Tiger Woods is in surgery after a car crash. Yeah, life hasn't been the same for Tiger Woods since, well, those of us who can remember when the wheels started to come off. Most unfortunate. We wish him well and trust he will recover. His car was found on its side after rolling over. Let's see what the story says. Not getting any audio from that, just video. But we wish him well. So many lessons loaded in Tiger Woods' journey. So it is. Let us learn. Let us learn. Let us learn. Let's see the actual story by Melissa Makaya, Veronica Rocha, Mike Hayes, and Meg Wagner. Let me try this again. This looks a little more serious.
This is our breaking news. Tiger Woods has been involved in a serious car crash. As you can see here, the LA sheriff says Tiger Woods was involved in a single vehicle rollover, traffic collision, and had to be extricated with the jaws of life. This is according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and a statement that they just put out. Woods' vehicle rolled over this morning. It was on the border of Rolling Hills Estates and Rancho Palos Verdes. The Sheriff's Department says that his vehicle was traveling northbound on Hawthorne Boulevard at Black Horse Road when it crashed. And right now, Woods is at a hospital. He was transported to a local hospital for his injuries. I want to bring in Christine Brennan on the phone. Christine, it's hard. Look, we don't know. We're still waiting for details on this. It is hard to look at these pictures that we are seeing of this vehicle and the condition it's in, and knowing that he was pinned in there and had to be extricated from the jaws of life without having some serious worry for the prognosis of Tiger Woods. Are you hearing anything?
Brianna, at this point, I am just talking to a few sources. I've heard nothing yet. Obviously, this is, as you said, the visuals here, the pictures are horrifying. This is Tiger Woods. He's 45 years old. He is one of the biggest and best names known in sports and really in our culture. And he has been a part of our culture now since the late 1990s. And so when you say the name Tiger Woods, everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows his history. He won the Masters less than 2 years ago in an amazing comeback. Of late, he had back surgery once again. He's had a lot of injuries, as you probably know. And so he hasn't been playing golf. He was in LA for a tournament where he actually appeared on television. He did not play in the tournament, the PGA tournament, over the last few days. And so to see this, it's just horrifying. And when you hear the jaws of life, that he had to be extricated, Brianna, with the jaws of life, all of a sudden you think of the athlete and this incredibly powerful man, and then you picture the concern and the fallibility of this person. And is he okay? Forget golf right now, right? You just start thinking, is this man okay? Is he, how severely injured is he? And what does the future hold? So certainly everyone would be thinking of Tiger and his family, his son and his daughter at this moment, and very concerned for his welfare.
CNN reporting on the injury of Tiger Woods in a car crash. Injured earlier today following a one-vehicle rollover car crash near Los Angeles. Woods is reportedly in serious condition. He suffered multiple leg injuries. Oh dear. Multiple leg injuries and is in surgery. We wish him well and all the very best to Tiger Woods. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, right after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Tune into Farm Talk, 6:18 to 6:35 a.m. the first Tuesday of every month, and 6:18 to 6:45 p.m. the last Tuesday of every month for First Hand in the Field. Real issues, real solutions. Join the Newport First Hand team in the field as they identify problems and tell you how to address them. First Hand in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions is brought to you by Newport First Hand Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
The following is a program advisory from Power 106 FM. Please be advised that the program Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas has been reduced to 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, starting Monday, November 2. That is Dear Pastor, now 1 hour, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Power 106 FM apologizes for any inconvenience this program change may cause. The proceeding was a program advisory from Power 106 FM.
COVID-19 has effectively changed our way of life, and to combat the pandemic, it's crucial that we focus on cutting-edge strategies to maintain proper sanitization, hygiene, and public health. Learn more about these cutting-edge strategies and get vital information that can help the individual and various sectors of society operate and thrive in the new normal by listening to the feature Maintenance Matters, airing every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. during Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites. Maintenance Matters is brought to you by Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited, with head offices at 1 Eureka Road, Kingston 5. Telephone 876-920-4721-5. Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited. Get more than clean, get hygiene. That's Maintenance Matters during Power Talk, every other Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
No, I never can understand it, the way the system goes. I don't know how they do it. It's only one way things flow. Cause every time I lift my head above water, I try to save myself from drown.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 13. 现在地点了5点加14分. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Well, this story looks relatively new on the Jamaica Observer's website. The story is, the time is off though, 17:39:43 seconds. So it's they need to check their timing device at the Jamaica Observer, because it's not 5:39 yet. So unless it came in at 4:39. The story is no evidence Jam COVID website vulnerabilities were exploited, says Ministry. The Ministry of National Security says there is no evidence that the vulnerabilities on the Jam COVID website were exploited for malicious data extraction or leakage prior to being identified and corrected. According to a statement from the ministry, it has been conducting a comprehensive review of all aspects of the site, application, and associated databases. The ministry said that changes were implemented with a view to further hardening security and strengthening all security features. We understand and share the concerns of the public on this matter and assure all concerned that we continue to work assiduously with the relevant stakeholders and developers to take appropriate actions, the statement read. As in all sensitive matters, we encourage the public to refrain from speculation and thank you for your patience. We await the outcome of the ongoing review process and commit to keeping the public informed, it added. So a belated statement from the Ministry of National Security, statement that should have come out some time ago, and making it on the news platform, the Jamaica Observer's platform. For some strange reason, and we don't know what it is, this new Gleaner app is not happening. This, at least not for us, maybe for others, but it's been quite miserable, a miserable experience trying to use the app. We're just not able to say. We have deleted it a few times and reinstalled it, still having issues. Not sure why that is. Over to our friends at the Gleaner, but it's something we've mentioned before on this program. Thank you very much. Let's go now to some more information which we like to share with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad from time to time. Information that you might find useful or might give you a sense of history and appreciation for what is happening, has happened, or perhaps is not happening. Case in point, let's go to, we're talking about vaccines now and all kinds of stories about vaccines. Well, let's go back to 1954. On this day in 1954, a group of children from Arsenal Elementary School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, received the first injections of the new polio vaccine developed by Dr. Jonas Salk. I think some people say Salk, either Salk or Salk, S-A-L-K. So on this day in 1954, a group of children from Arsenal Elementary School, it would be quite intriguing, fascinating, and also enlightening if we were able to track these children, if they're still alive, who are now would now be adults, senior citizens, etc., who could hear their experiences. This would take some researching, though, wouldn't it? On this day, 1954, a group of children from Arsenal Elementary School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, received the first injections of the new polio vaccine developed by Dr. Jonas Salk. Though not as devastating as the plague or influenza, poliomyelitis was a highly contagious disease that emerged in terrifying outbreaks and seemed impossible to stop, attacking the nerve cells and sometimes the central nervous system. Polio caused muscle deterioration, paralysis, and even death. By growing samples of the polio virus and then deactivating or killing them by adding a chemical called formalin, Dr. Jonas Salk developed his vaccine, which was able to immunize without infecting the patient. Now that's ideal, isn't it? Immunized without infecting the patient. After mass inoculations began in 1954, everyone marveled at the high success rate, some 60 to 70%. So you see, even now some of us are frowning on 60 to 70% success. We prefer to see 80, 85, 90, or even 100%. Well, back in 1954, everyone marveled at the high success rate, 60 to 70%, until the vaccine caused a sudden outbreak of some 200 cases. After it was determined that the cases were all caused by one faulty batch of the vaccine. See why it's so important when you're dealing with vaccine. One faulty batch of the vaccine caused the sudden outbreak of some 200 cases. So after it was determined that the cases were all caused by that faulty batch of the vaccine, production standards were improved, and by August 1955, some 4 million shots had been given. There is still no cure for polio once it has been contracted, but the use of vaccines has virtually eliminated polio in the United States. Globally, there are around 250,000 cases each year, mostly in developing countries. The World Health Organization has set a goal of eradicating polio from the entire world by 2010. I wonder where we are now. Can we do a quick check? What time is it? Almost time to wrap. Let's do a quick check on polio to see where we are. Polio. Quick update on where we are with polio. This coming from 2019, July 22nd of July 2019 from the World Health Organization. Poliomyelitis, or polio for short, mainly affects children under 5 years of age. 1 in 200 infections leads to irreversible paralysis. Among those paralyzed, 5 to 10% die when their breathing muscles become immobilized. Cases due to wild poliovirus have decreased by more than 99% since 1988, from an estimated 350,000 cases then to 33 reported cases in 2018. As long as a single child remains infected, children in all countries are at risk of contracting polio. Failure to eradicate polio from these last remaining strongholds could result in as many as 200,000 new cases every year within 10 years all over the world. In most countries, the global effort has expanded capacities to tackle other infectious diseases by building effective surveillance and immunization systems. The people most at risk, children under 5 years old. Prevention, there is no cure for polio. It can only be prevented. Polio vaccine given multiple times can protect a child for life. Once again, the global caseload, wild poliovirus cases have decreased by more than 99% since 1988, from an estimated 350,000 cases in more than 125 endemic countries then to 33 reported cases in 2018. And there have been new strains of the three strains of wild poliovirus, type 1, type 2, and type 3. Wild poliovirus type 2 was eradicated in 1999, so there's no more type 2 poliomyelitis. Eradicated in 1999, and no case of wild poliovirus type 3 has been found since the last reported case in Nigeria in November 2012. Hopefully, by the time we get to, hopefully sooner than later, we'll be able to speak this way about the coronavirus, especially the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. For today, Tuesday, the 23rd of February, 2021, the moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Breaking my back to make a note on that dollar that goes from hand to mouth. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. No, I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. No, I'm putting up a resistance. Got to work
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106